All right. Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 28th. Welcome to the Senate Tax Committee. Members, we have 4 bills on our agenda today, and the intent is that we will lay them over. First up is Senator Coleman, Senate File 4394. This is addressing a need, which is helping employees get back to work or stay at work. Tax credit creation for employer-paid family leave. Senator Coleman, I believe you have the A2 amendment. First, let's move your bill, Senate File 4394. Could you do that, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate File 4394.
Thank you, Senator Coleman. And I believe you have an author's amendment, the A2.
Yes, Madam Chair, that's
This
correct.
is your first stop. This is the author's amendment. We do have a quorum. And members, if we could approve Senator Coleman's author's amendment, and then she will describe the bill as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Senator Coleman, your bill is amended with the A2. And now a 2-year bill is amended, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and members. As we, as a body, continue conversations surrounding paid family leave and understanding this is an important topic and an issue that our small businesses are struggling to keep up when it comes to competing for our workforce with larger companies that can offer these benefits, I believe this is another tool that we can have in our toolkit to offer expand access to paid family leave and help more small businesses be able to afford to offer these benefits to their employees. And so what this bill as amended does offers a tax credit for businesses with 50 or fewer employees to offer paid family leave to their employees. It helps them to cover the expenses, including if the state authorizes paid family leave insurance creation in this state. And so I would love if Ms. Pollack could maybe walk through some of the finer details of the bill, and then, Madam Chair, if Mr. Williams could walk through where we're at on the revenue note, as with the amendment, it is still developing.
Thank you, Senator Coleman. Ms. Pollack, if you could do a walkthrough of the bill as amended, please.
Madam Chair, members, and Senator Coleman. First, to kind of start with the A2 amendment. The A2 clarifies that the credit is available to employers who provide either direct paid benefits for paid family leave or who pay for or who purchase an insurance policy that would provide paid family leave benefits for their employees. And then the amendment also deletes the $50 million cap and the kind of first come, first serve allocation process that happens when there is a cap on a credit. So there would be no cap on the credit. As Senator Coleman mentioned, the bill provides a tax credit for employers who provide paid family leave for their employees. The credit would be equal to the amount paid for paid family leave benefits for the employee, up to $3,000 per qualified employee. And the paid family leave covers leave for participating in providing care, including physical or psychological care for a family member due to the family member's serious health condition, bonding with an employee's child during the first month after the child's birth or after adoption or foster care placement with the employee, or addressing an exigency arising from the child or spouse or parent of the employee, active duty or notification of impending call to active duty in the armed forces. A qualified employee, so an employee for whose payment for paid family leave would be eligible for the credit, is someone who has been employed by the employer for at least a year. An employer, as Senator Coleman mentioned, must be one who employs 50 or fewer employees in Minnesota, and who also is subject to the withholding requirements under our income tax laws. The credit, as is kind of standard with all of our credits, is allocated for part year and non-year residents, and also must be passed through according to share of a pass-through entity's assets for partners, members, and shareholders of the pass-through entity. The credit is not refundable, but it can be carried forward for up to 5 years. And finally, the credit is effective for 3 years, beginning in taxable year 2023 through taxable year 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Pollock. And Mr. Wilms, to the revenue estimate, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. The revenue estimate included in your materials, packet materials today reflects the bill as proposed to be amended by the A1 amendment. And as my colleague, Ms. Pollock, explained, the A2 amendment clarifies that the benefit would also apply to, or the credit would also include eligible expenses that were paid to an insurance company to provide paid family leave. So the revenue estimate reflects only paid leave directly. However, revenue estimate is in process with the Department of Revenue to reflect the bill as proposed to be amended by the A2. Currently, the one in your packets reflects general fund effects from the corporate franchise tax and individual income tax. Loss of revenue of approximately 19.7 million in '24 and 20.5 million in FY25, and we expect that the revised estimate will likely be additional revenue loss to the tune of approximately 10 million. So I think the range we're talking about here under the A2 is approximately 30 million, at most 40 million per year.
Thank you, Mr. Wilms. Senator Coleman, do you have any comments before we go to your testifiers? Or
No,
members?
Madam Chair, I'm happy to jump straight to testifiers.
All right, and then members will take questions following that. Our first testifier is Corey Anderson, President and founder of the Disability Insurance Geek. Welcome, Mr. Anderson. We love geeks. They always have the answers we need when we need them. All right, Mr. Anderson, introduce yourself for the record, please, and begin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, committee. My name's Corey Anderson, proud Minnesotan, born and raised in Minnesota. Own a small business called Disability Insurance Geek or Disability Geek, or disabilitygeek.com if you want to look it up. Anyways, what we do is we consult with individuals and small businesses around the country. We help them with benefits and helping them have either private pay benefits or going via self-insure, or mostly we use insurance carriers behind the different things that we set up for people. We have a wonderful team. I am one of the 5 people that are employed. We all work remote. 3 of us are full-time and 2 of us are part-time, working around 25 to 35 hours a week. This year, the perfect storm happened in my business. I've had 3 employees out this year. 1 had surgery and was out for some time. I had 1 whose spouse had 5 bypass surgery, had a heart attack at the hospital, and has been disabled for 3 months, the spouse. And so my employee's been trying to take care of the spouse while trying to also keep things going at the office. I had another employee whose father was passing away, and they cared for that individual their father in their home, and helped him pass away peacefully after a few month battle with some health conditions. So it drastically impacted my business. In 2022 though, so we've had these 3 different major issues that have all come up in the last 4 months. Something like this would allow small businesses to compete with large employers. People maybe line up outside of a Target or a Medtronic or a General Mills looking for a job, and they have 100 people applying maybe for one particular job. In the insurance business, people don't line up looking to get into disability insurance. People don't line up and say, oh my gosh, that sounds like the greatest job in the world. It's competing to find employees is a hard thing to begin with, talking about consulting people about insurance. And this type of bill would allow small businesses like myself to be able to compete with large employer groups for wonderful talent. The hardest part is finding great talent. And once you have great talent, you don't want to lose them either. So a bill like this would really help us compete with very large employers and offer some great benefits. We already offer quite a few benefits for our employees with short-term and long-term disability, life insurance, dental insurance and vision insurance, and critical illness insurance. This would take it to a whole different level, and we would love to see this out in the marketplace, especially with the different small businesses that we consult with and talk with throughout the country, but here in Minnesota especially.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more testifiers. And I'll call them up two at a time. I just note that we had about 15 minutes reserved for each bill, so we're going to have to try and make sure that we get those most salient points out right away. So next up is Dan Swenson Klatt and Beth Cadoon. If you could both come up next to Senator Coleman, and we'll recognize Mr. Klatt. Are you in person today, or are you online? I
Good
don't.
morning. This is Dan Swenson. I'm coming virtually. Can you hear me today?
We can hear you. Welcome to the committee. You introduced yourself. You may begin.
Okay, thank you. My name is Dan Swenson and thank you for allowing me to come here virtually. I'm at my shop. It is Dining Out for Life Day, and we are serving neighbors who live with HIV and AIDS. And for them, health insurance and healthcare access and paid leave are indeed vital. And we're here today working to raise some funds for them. So I couldn't get to the Capitol, but I'd like to share a short story. I've been in business for 17 years. We do our best to take care of our employees, work on creating fair wages, do all the right things to care for them, but healthcare, health insurance has been sadly inaccessible, unaffordable for a small business like mine. I'm at 20 employees. We work for break even. That's our job, trying to stay alive here. Health insurance, in this case, with this bill, still would not be affordable for my staff. As much as I'd love to be able to get involved with paid leave this way, it won't get to small businesses like mine. I recently provided 6 weeks of paid leave for a cook who took time off to care for his dying father and burying him, have some time to grieve afterwards. I paid for that out of a loan, went into debt to do it. This kind of bill where a tax credit would give me money at the end of a tax season still doesn't help with my cash flow. It doesn't help me deal with the fact that I'm trying to pay for staff at the moment I'm trying to pay for staff. As much as I would like to cover paid leave for all of my employees, we really don't have the access to do that. We tend to only cover some, pick and choose. A bill like this just won't help get the access for the staff. That's why I'm trying to advocate for a bill that would provide paid leave for all, that all of us could pay into, not just the employers who provide a paid life insurance policy or a health insurance policy. Family medical leave is good for business. It keeps my employees here. I'm going to lose a baker to a job with benefits in a couple weeks here. I would love to provide benefits. It's not in my small business mind right now to be able to make that work. But a statewide bill where we're all paying into it, all take a share, could have a shot to help the smallest of us. And I hope you'll think of that kind of bill first before this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Klatt. Ms. Cadoon, well, also if Sarah Peppenberg could come up and join at the testifying table if you're in the building. All right, Ms. Cadoon, introduce yourself for the record. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Beth Cadoon. I represent the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce. We are in strong support of this bill.
Went off script. Thank you.
Thanks. Whoop. And thanks, Senator Coleman, for bringing forth this bill to provide this small business tax credit to help small business provide this important benefit for their employees. Our members share the goal of giving Minnesotans access to the time needed to take care of themselves and their loved ones. The question is how we achieve this goal in a way that enables a healthy Minnesota economy for all Minnesotans and does not impose additional cost burdens that will make our business climate less competitive. If the state mandates expensive new benefits, an approach some will advocate for today without regards to the relevance to the employer and its workforce, its industry, or its market, costs will go up and other benefits will go down. The results are reduced staff and job opportunities, hours, or benefits hurting workers and their families. This proposal provides a better option that will expand access to paid leave, but without a huge price tag and without undermining the current benefit offerings of employers that are already providing this benefit. The benefit of this approach compared to other proposals that enact a new statewide one-size-fits-all mandate is that this bill is targeted to smaller businesses that may need this assistance to provide this benefit. This bill does not disrupt employers that are offering the benefit now, that work best for their workforce and industry, And it doesn't result in a payroll tax of over $1.6 billion to fund a new state program that adds over 330 state employees to administer. And importantly, this bill does not add a new cost and regulatory burden to a business tax climate that's already considered among the highest cost in the nation. Thank you for including this approach, and we encourage you to include it in your omnibus tax bill, as this will provide an important tax incentive to help these small business and their employees.
Thank you, Ms. Cadoon. I believe our next two testifiers, Sarah Peppenberg and Amity Foster, are both on Zoom. You could get ready to pop on. And then at the table, I believe we have Melissa Heising. If you're in the room, come please join Senator Coleman, as well as Tony. I don't see Tony. Good to see you again. Come on up. All right, let's go with our Zoom testifiers here first. Sarah Peppenberg, co-owner of Vinaigrette, Minneapolis. Welcome to the committee. Please introduce yourself for the record and begin.
Thank you. My name is Sarah Piepenberg, and I'm the owner of Vinaigrette, a family-owned food store located in Southwest Minneapolis. I'm also a member of Main Street Alliance. I got involved in the paid leave fight because of my employee, Linda, 4 years ago. She fell and broke both of her arms. She was unable to work. If she went without her paycheck from us while she was recovering, she was going to have to choose between putting food on the table and making rent. But I've told this story many, many times. We paid her while she was out because it was the right thing to do. And actually paying her saved me money in having to hire and train a new employee. But we were late on our commercial rent and our house payment. It was a struggle. My story with Linda continued as she went on to be diagnosed with ALS and died May 4th of last year. We looked into different private paid leave options when we opened Vinaigrette, and again, when I was challenged at a previous hearing on paid leave. I took that challenge and met with 3 different agents. However, their premiums were more costly than what the premium would be under a statewide paid family medical leave program. The programs also required minimum hospital stays and excluded coverage for cancer. With private paid leave insurance not being an option, we looked into tax credits. A federal tax credit for family medical leave has been in place since 2017. We've seen little increase in access to paid leave over the same period of time after accounting for new expanded state and social insurance programs. Many small employers like myself with fewer than 50 employees are eligible for the tax credit, cannot afford to wait until tax filing season to be reimbursed for our expenses, especially not with current rising costs, back pay and rent, and supply chain disruptions. Senate File 4394 does not ensure accessibility for all employees. If a small business does not participate, the employee is unable to access the leave. Furthermore, state costs per worker would increase due to a smaller risk pool and private market forces such as underwriting and profit. As a small business owner, I support my employee to the fullest extent. However, employees should not have to solely rely on the goodwill of their employers, and neither should all of us rely on our mom and pop shops to provide a social safety net for all. Senate File 1205, a statewide paid family medical leave program, creates a system where everyone pays in a little and everyone benefits. It would provide a safety net for all of us and for our employees, help us attract and retain dedicated employees like Linda, and do so much more. A paid leave program administered through tax credits would create further barriers to paid leave through costs, reimbursements, and accessibility. As a small business owner, Senate File 4394 does not make good business sense. I urge members of this committee not to advance this and support State File 1205 instead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peppenberg. Members and testifiers, please note that we are hearing Senate File 4394 today. Please limit your comments to the bill before us. We are not, certainly there will be other times to advance other proposals, but today we are hearing Senate File 4394. Ms. Foster, welcome to the committee. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is Amity Foster, and I live in Minneapolis in Senate District 60. Last year, my husband got very sick and was on life support for 2 weeks and then in physical rehab for 2 more. I was the only person who could visit him because of COVID protocols, and it drained me. I'd come home from the hospital and literally just sit on the couch and stare into space because I couldn't think of anything else to do. We just got news, literally last week, that my husband's prognosis is much better. It's wonderful news. But that could always change very quickly. And honestly, the older I get, that we both get, I take nothing for granted. And I'd like to not take the ability to care for my family for granted either. While I appreciate that paid leave is finally getting the spotlight it deserves, this bill falls short. It is not enough to have a paid family and medical leave bill that covers only people lucky enough to have employers who participate in the paid leave program proposed in this bill. It's not enough for employers to wait till tax time to access a fund that may have run out. It's also insufficient to limit who is considered a family member or have only about 17% of workers benefit from this proposed bill. The paid leave proposal in Senate File 1205 is comprehensive, accessible, and ensures access to paid family leave, and it will unite Minnesota. It is a policy decision that helps people every day, and it helps us all thrive and be healthy. The past 2 years have been rough for me and for all of us. I have never felt more strongly that our families and neighborhoods are stronger, safer, and healthier when we come together in moments of joy and illness and crisis. I ask you to reconsider advancing the paid leave bill proposed today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Foster. Ms. Melissa Heising, welcome to the committee. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Melissa Heising, and I am here today in my capacity as Legislative Director of the Minnesota AFL-CIO, the State Federation of Labor Unions, and as an organizational co-chair of the Minnesotans for Paid Family and Medical Leave Coalition. Thank you, Chair Nelson and Senator Coleman, for recognizing the critical importance of supporting businesses, workers, and children when the inevitable need for family leave arises. However, we are very concerned that the approach taken in this bill will do little to expand access, likely exacerbating current opportunity gaps, and do so at unnecessarily high cost per worker covered to the state. Several aspects of the bill will likely result in further divisions between workers with and without paid family leave support during critical times in life. Employers are allowed to choose which workers to support. Nothing in the bill prohibits them from excluding certain workers for a variety of reasons, including those with a pre-existing condition, for example, pregnancy, being in a high-risk group, for example, women of childbearing age or older workers, or workers in a lower wage or lower job class. Under Senate File 4394, state funds could be used to provide higher paid professional workers with even more generous benefits at a cost to the state, while the majority of workers remain uncovered. Because the bill does not leverage a broad statewide risk pool, the state will in effect be paying significantly more per worker covered and likely be doing so for a less generous benefit. This approach will also be challenging for small employers who, as you just heard, don't have the cash flow to wait for tax season to be reimbursed for purchasing these policies. The tax credit only applies to employers not currently covered by federal FMLA's employment protections, meaning workers receiving support will not be protected from job loss or other adverse consequences for using the benefit. Finally, this proposal does not include medical leave for workers who need to take time to deal with their own serious health condition. For all of these reasons, we support the proven approach states across the country and countries around the world have turned to, the social insurance model included in Senate File 1205. We are concerned that the approach included in Senate File 4394, while well-intended, leaves the majority of workers and employers behind, continuing an uneven playing field for both. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Heising, for your comments about Senate File 4394. I do encourage members to focus on the bill in front of us, either what's in it or what's not. That's fine. Tony, welcome to the committee. Please say your last name again and introduce yourself.
It's a tough one. Yep. My name is Tony K. Manskow. And Madam Chair, committee members, thank you for the opportunity to be here to testify. I live in Rochester, Minnesota, and I want to thank the committee for hearing Senate File 4394 today. I appreciate the attention being paid to the importance of paid family leave. I'm here today on behalf of AARP to tell you about my family and my experience as a family caregiver and share my concern about why the bill before us falls short of a solution to help all family caregivers. Minnesota's population is aging, and family caregivers are the backbone of our long-term care system. As a family caregiver, I have provided care for my son and daughter that have struggled with health issues starting in their teens. Eventually, I have gone on to share caregiving responsibilities with my siblings when my dad was diagnosed with end-stage heart and lung disease and my mom was diagnosed with cancer. When my parents' health started to decline, I became guardian to my developmentally disabled brother. I officially became a member of the sandwich generation, caring for my kids, aging parents, and a brother. Caregiving is challenging and a full-time job, but my family has needed me. Working in healthcare, I hear from other caregivers that have similar experiences. Through the years, my role as a family caregiver has been a financial strain. During a 9-month period in 2017, I went without 1/3 of my yearly income due to unpaid time away from work. I have declared bankruptcy in the past. I wasn't able to afford unpaid time away from work, keep a roof over my children's head, buy groceries, pay our utilities, and other necessary expenses along the way. My concern with the bill before you is that there is no guarantee that all employers will provide paid family leave. Also, it only covers small businesses with 50 or fewer workers. What about those of us who work for larger companies? Even with the tax credit, how can we be assured it's affordable to everyone? In the last days of my mom's life, while in hospice care, because my family and I were so burnt out trying to juggle work, missed pay, and time away to be with her, she died alone, without family at her bedside. My belief is if we had had a paid Family Medical Leave Act in place, the family would have been at her side in her last moments of life. I'm not sure what the future may bring for my family members. As a guardian of my disabled brother, as a mother, and as a grandmother, I worry for their future along with my own. Having guaranteed paid time away from work to care for each other would ease so much stress related to any family's finances. As caregiving becomes the new normal, most of us will likely be caregivers during our lifetime. No one should ever have to live with choosing between not paying their bills and sacrificing their loved ones' well-being. Paid family medical leave should not rely on your employer's choice to offer a program. It is heartbreaking to hear a family struggling, just like my own. We urge lawmakers to pass a comprehensive paid family and medical leave program available to all Minnesotans, not just a few. An army of family caregivers are counting on you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mangskow. Then our last testifier, I believe, is John Reynolds with Nfib. Welcome to the committee. Introduce yourself for the record. After you get seated, you're welcome to begin.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. John Reynolds, State Director for the National Federation of Independent Businesses in Minnesota. We represent over 10,000 small employers all across our state. First, I'd like to thank Senator Coleman for authoring Senate File 4394. This bill will help small businesses compete with larger companies by providing a tax credit to offset the cost of an important but expensive benefit, paid leave. In recent NFIB surveys, large numbers of small businesses are responding to difficult economic conditions and shifting employee views by raising wages and increasing paid time off. However, not all small employers are in a financial position or business model that allows for this, which makes it harder for them to compete. The approach in Senate File 4394 works for small businesses and their employees because it allows flexibility in benefit design and does not disrupt existing benefit sets. This is important because not every employee is looking for the same mix of compensation and benefits that are required in heavier-handed and inflexible mandate proposals. As an example, in 2020, the Employee Benefits Research Institute found that more employees prefer less paid leave and higher wages, 25%, than prefer more paid leave and lower wages, 17%. And employers can adjust their estimated tax payments, saving them money as they go. Lastly, we appreciate that Senate File 4394 helps employees and employers without imposing significant new taxes, setting up a new state-run administrative structure, or creating a burden that small employers cannot meet. No plan is perfect, but combined with the authorization of paid leave insurance in Minnesota, we believe this approach will help many employers help many employees without harming small employers. We've heard criticism of this approach as there will be gaps or there might be gaps. The reality is there's gaps in state-run plans as well. If you look at the utilization data from Washington State, there are overrepresented employees, particularly higher wage employees in that program, and there are underrepresented employees, typically lower wage employees. employees in their 30s are overrepresented. Employees in every other age group are underrepresented. So there are gaps in that approach as well. So I hope you'll consider that as we go. I hope the committee can support this approach. And again, thank you to Senator Coleman for authoring this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. I do see we have a question here. Senator Dietzick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question was for the testifier, if he could come back. If
Mr.
possible.
Reynolds. Yes. You escaped too soon.
I was hoping he would be able to answer some of my questions, because one of the questions I had, which is why I raised my hand, because it was relevant to his testimony. Do you know how many businesses there are that have maybe like 50 to 100 employees? Because we're the cutoff 50, and I apologize, I was having technical difficulties, so missed some of the earlier testimony. But I'm hearing from a lot of small businesses, and I know some of them are probably in that 50 to 100 range from my district, who are concerned with the employee shortage and problems hiring in people right now and retaining people, that they can't compete against the larger companies that offer, and quite frankly are offer in some cases better pay and paid family leave. And so how many of them, companies are there between like 50, do you know, or do you have just based on your membership, between 50 to 100 that again will be left out and are having a hard time competing for employees right now?
Sure. Thank you, Senator Dietzick, for the
Mr.
question.
Reynolds.
And Madam Chair, we share your concern, our members share your concern about being able to compete with larger businesses on a mix of benefits and pay. Our membership, the average size NFIB member is about 10 employees and $500,000 in annual revenue. I think about 75% of our members have fewer than 10 employees, so we're very small. And I know those numbers exist, Senator Dietzick. I don't have them in front of me. I believe that the overwhelming majority of employers in Minnesota, beyond a majority, the overwhelming number of employers in Minnesota are under 50 employees. But I would be happy to track down the breakdown of employee. I'm sorry, I'm just. As I'm talking, I'm trying to see if I can recall it, but I can't, so I'm going to stop thinking and just keep answering. I'll track that down. I'll track that breakdown down, and I will email it to you in the committee afterward.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. We will make sure that gets out once you get us that number. I always like to have numbers right in front of me when I'm asked to testify to them also. I understand that. All right, any further comments, members? I'm not seeing any at the table nor online. I just have one comment that this is not the Commerce Committee, and I know you've been through Commerce, Senator Coleman, on the authorization of paid leave insurance in Minnesota. And I just want to say Minnesota is traditionally lagging in innovative insurance products. And I think it's a good thing that we are adapting to the needs that Minnesotans have. And I appreciate, while it didn't come through this committee, it's a commerce issue regarding authorizing paid family leave insurance in our state. And I think that is a real plus that we are on track to do that. So I think that is a good thing. And I would also note the concerns about, the legislation does not state that an employer must offer paid family leave to all employees. And there was some concern that there might be some picking and choosing in some way about who would be offered paid family leave. We'll check with Commerce, but my understanding is when you talk about a group policy, this is, I believe, a group policy, employers don't have that ability to pick and choose based upon a person's health condition or that type of thing. And so that would be very unusual if that were the case. But we will, again, get the accurate information from the Commerce Committee regarding that ability for employers to pick and choose based upon health conditions for coverage. That'd be quite unusual. So Senator Coleman, any further comments?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and members for the time today, and thank you for all of the testifiers, and I truly mean all of the testifiers, those who spoke for it and against it. You know, it takes a lot of courage to come here and share your very personal stories, and those who spoke against it, I just want you to know I do hear you. And I do feel for you. And this attempt is coming from a mother who had her first child without any paid family leave. And my question is, can we look for innovative, collaborative solutions before we look to heavy-handed government to try to tackle this problem? Because we do hear this is an important issue, and we're just trying to find ways to tackle this in ways that make sense for all Minnesotans. So I hear you, and I appreciate you sharing your stories, and thank you for your time today, members.
Thank you, Senator Coleman. The bill will be laid over for possible inclusion. Next up, members, is Senate File 4284. That's the Public Finance Bill. Senator Coleman and I are going to change places. She's going to come take the gavel here, and I'll present the Public Finance Bill. My testifiers are welcome to come join me at the table. Yep.
Senator Nelson, would you like to move your bills? Senate File 4284.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I would move Senate File 4284. We do not have an amendment, members. This is the annual public finance bill. It was brought to me by the Minnesota Institute of Public Finance. Those of you who've been on the tax committee are aware of this bill. It's an annual event, nearly. And this is a very simple bill. Current law permits local units of government to issue debt that must be paid off in 10 years. This bill extends the number of years to 20. The League of Minnesota Cities is supportive of this legislation. I have two testifiers who will go through the bill quickly, and I'll just have you note that it's all about moving that 10 years to allowing 20 years, and you'll know there are 6 different sections of the bill really addressing the different local units of government for each section. So we'll start with, I have Rhonda Scobie with me. Rhonda, if the chair would recognize you?
Yes, welcome to the.
Actually, if
that's okay.
Yes?
I think I may have written that wrong.
Okay,
You're right.
we are going to do a switch on the order. We're going to have Mr. Bagnoli go first.
All right, Mr. Bagnoli, welcome. Please state your name and who you're with for the record.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Joe Bagnoli with Winthrop and Weinstein Law Firm on behalf of the Minnesota Institute of Public Finance. I just wanted to say a little brief prefatory statement of who the Minnesota Institute of Public Finance is, just because it's kind of a mouthful. This is an organization that is a collection of the attorneys, bankers, and financial advisors that advise cities, local units of government, as well as the state. But this is related to local units of government that issue debt. And so it has to do, as the name implies, public finance. And so with us today is Rhonda Scobie with Dorsey Whitney.
Welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record and go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Rhonda Scobie. I'm a bond attorney with Dorsey and Whitney, and as stated, I'm here today to speak on Senate File 4284. Under state law, each of the existing units of municipal government are authorized to issue general obligation bonds to purchase capital equipment. And the bonds are subject to the municipality's debt limit and various other requirements for the issuance of municipal bonds. For most types of equipment, the maturity of the bonds is limited to 10 years and further capped to a maturity that does not exceed the useful life of the equipment that's being financed. So because of that 10-year limit, municipalities have found that equipment with a longer life, a life longer than 10 years, is difficult to finance on an affordable basis. Some examples would be fire trucks or ambulances or solar equipment. So the proposal would change that maturity cap to 20 years. The existing cap on matching the life of the bonds to the useful life of the equipment would still remain in place. So from a practical point of view, if you had a piece of equipment with a 15-year maturity, I'm sorry, economic life, the bond maturity could not exceed the useful life of that property. And as stated, there are multiple statutes that this affects, and it would bring that same change to each of the statutes. Multiple statutes, because each type of government has its own governing statute.
Thank you. Senator Nelson, do you have any comments before we turn to questions?
Just note that this is technical in nature. We've not included any known controversial issues. There's no general fund impact. Again, this is just updating our public finance laws to reflect the need today regarding vested projects that have a lifespan longer than 10 years. So, and that is consistent throughout the bill. It's just 10 to 20. And that's all we have unless there's questions, members.
Fantastic. Members, any questions? Senator Klein.
Thank you, Senator Nelson and Madam Chair. I guess the only question, again, as a kind of a newcomer to the committee, can the testifiers give any specific examples of municipalities or local units of governments that were sort of seeking this authority? Just make it more concrete if you're willing to share that.
I can't cite a specific city or town that has asked for this. This has come from the collective experience of those who work with cities and towns, counties also. And the person who brought it to our organization, because again, we represent the industry. We're not here advocating for a particular city or a particular project. This is something that affects the industry as a whole. And the financial advisors who work closely with cities have said that fire trucks have become a problem to finance across the state, and other expensive, long-lived equipment. This change would benefit the state as a whole. It doesn't speak to a particular project.
And Madam Chair, and to Senator Klein, that's a good question, and I wondered that myself. The one thing I do want you to know is, again, the longevity of the bonds are limited to the lifetime of the asset for which they're taken out. So even if we said 50 years, I'm just saying the effect would be the same, in that the bonds can only last as long as the longevity of the project.
Any other questions, members? Just a brief comment myself, Senator Nelson, prior to coming to the state senate, I served on a local city council in my district in the city of Chanhassen, and I can attest to that. When it came time to buy a new fire truck, it's okay, which road are we not building this year? Because we kind of had to pay for it with cash out of our own pockets. So this, I think, would go a long way in helping even smaller cities with that endeavor. So thank you for bringing this forward. Senator Nelson, any closing comments?
No, thank you, members, for your consideration, and I would ask the chair to lay it over for possible inclusion.
All right, with that, Senate File 4284 is laid over.
Thank you.
Turn the gavel back over. Senator Eken, welcome to the Tax Committee. We have a little bit of musical chairs as everybody gets in their right seats. We have Senate File 4543. Senator Klein, could you offer that? Could you move that, please? Thank you, Senator Klein. This is the Moorhead Local Sales and Use Tax Authorization. Senator Eken, to your bill, and then we'll go to your testifiers.
Well, thank you, Chair Nelson and members. This deals with local option sales tax. It's going to be on the ballot in November for a community center and regional library for the city of Moorhead. The sales tax would be for a period of 22 years, but because of rapidly increasing interest rates, that time period is not sufficient to cover the cost. Based on the best estimates that we have, we would need to extend that period by 8 years, from 22 years to 30 years in order to cover that full cost. So that's what the bill does. And I do have with me here today the mayor of Moorhead, Mayor Shelley Carlson, who is going to testify on the need for this bill and for that, for the funding for this important project. And I also have Lisa Bodie here, who is the Government Affairs Director for the City of Moorhead, to answer any questions that you may have. Also have with me today, too, the head of the Moorhead Business Association, Sherry Larson. So,
Great.
thank you.
Well, before we begin, Ms. Bodie, are you in the chamber today? Come on up. And first, I want to thank you all for making the trip down here. That's always noted when people get before the tax committee. We're glad you could be here. And then before we start with the mayor, I just want to ask Ms. Pollock, as we have for all of our sales and use tax, local option sales and use tax, have the requirements been met for both Senator Eken's bill here, Moorhead, and Oakdale regarding submission requirements?
Madam Chair and members, this bill and the next bill that we'll hear today are a little unique in that they're seeking a modification to the request that was enacted, or the authorization that was enacted last year. And last year, both cities did meet the filing requirements and so forth with the resolution. My understanding this year is that the need for the modification to the authorization last year came in, or the cities became aware of the need for the modification after that January 31st date. And I'm sure the city can clarify or correct me there. And so in that sense, the submission by January 31st requirement has not been met. But, you know, as we've seen over the last few days when we've heard these bills, this is kind of a unique situation with changes coming forth regarding the cost of projects and the amount of time that might be needed to raise the revenues.
Thank you, Ms. Pollock. And then, Mayor, has the city council passed a resolution about this extension as far as the time?
Madam Chair, that is correct.
Mayor, okay. Mayor Carlson, welcome to the committee. Introduce yourself for the record.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Senate Tax Committee. My name is Shelley Carlson. I'm the mayor of Moorhead, Minnesota. The city of Moorhead appreciates the legislature's 2021 authorization for the city of Moorhead and its residents to enact a local option sales tax to construct a new community center and regional library. Since legislative authority last spring was granted, I appointed a citizens task force to engage the community to plan this legacy project for the city of Moorhead. We have engaged our community for input and ideas. The support and feedback we have gotten is overwhelmingly positive. However, as a result of extreme market conditions, we do need the legislature's assistance to ensure that we can provide a sound financial plan to the Moorhead voters when we go to vote in November. The issue we need the legislature's assistance with relates to a significant increase in interest rates already experienced in 2022, plus any additional interest rates hike by the time the council would sell the bond, or the city would sell the bonds for the project. Our original financing assumptions, which we thought were conservative, are not sufficient. Without an 8-year increase in the sales tax collection period, the project would have a $500,000 annual revenue shortfall. So we ask your assistance to amend the city's authority to extend the time period for sales tax collection from 22 years to 30 years. Without an extension, the project would have to be significantly scaled back, or property tax increases would have to fund the deficit. Neither option meets our community needs or goals. The 8-year additional collection period was identified by our advisors at Baker Tilly as necessary to ensure that collections are sufficient each year to cover the principal plus interest on the bonds that would be financed by the sales tax. In your packet are 2 runs that illustrate that issue. One of them forecasts the bonds over a 22-year period, the other 30 years. As you can see, financing the bonds over the additional 8 years has a major impact on the city's ability to fund the project while protecting our property taxpayers from shortfalls. As of November 8th, election approaches, it is important that we provide a sound financial plan to Moorhead voters, because we do not want to have to come back. We want to make sure that we provide a option on the November vote, that we continue to have the trust and credibility of what we are presenting to our taxpayers. If financial conditions improve, the sales tax could be terminated earlier than expected. So thank you for all you do for Moorhead and all the residents of the entire state of Minnesota, and we are open for questions.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, we'll go to Lisa Bodie, Government Affairs Director, Moorhead. Welcome to the committee. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Thank you, Chair Nelson. I am Lisa Bodie. I'm the Governmental Affairs Director for the City of Moorhead. And, you know, Mayor Carlson covered our request very thoroughly. So at this time, I would just be open to any questions that you may have.
Ms. Bodie, thank you so much. Members, any questions? Pretty straightforward. I think this is something that is eye-opening for all of us as we see the impacts of this rampant inflation. Everyone's feeling it in their pocketbooks, and now we're getting a look at it as our cities go out for local option sales taxes. And I find it interesting to just see it's an 8-year extension on the local option sales tax. So pretty significant. I have no questions myself. Senator Eken, do you have any closing comments?
No, just thank you very much. It's a badly needed project for our area, and thank you very much for listening to our request.
Thank you, Senator Eken. The bill is laid over for possible inclusion. Members, again, as noted, that has no general fund impact. None of these do. Senator Wiger, our final bill today, Senate File 4511. This is the Oakdale local sales tax modification. Senator Wiger, welcome to the Tax Committee.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. If someone would like to move the bill?
Sure. Senator Weber, could you move the bill, please?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And Senator Wiger, to your bill.
Thank you. Madam Chair, as pointed out earlier by Council, this is a modification of what you previously approved on two very important regionally significant projects in Oakdale. One for a public works building, one for the police building facility. The increase for the public works building would be from 22 to 24 million. For the police department, from 15 to 18 million. So the bottom line, the aggregate bond amount would be up to 42 million that could be issued. And Madam Chair, as you pointed out, inflation has had an impact, and that's why we're here. There's also a third change in the bill, and that would put the duration for the issuance of bonds from 25 years up to 40 years. Of course, it blinks off if the bonds are paid off and associated related costs before that. It's been well documented as to why they need to go to up to 40 years. And I have with me the mayor of Oakdale, Paul Reinke, and the city administrator, Chris Volkers, who will add further on the need for this important legislation. Also, you have before you the recently passed resolution unanimously from the City Council of Oakdale, which amplifies further on the need for the facility and the proposed changes. Thank you, Madam Chair, and we could go to our testifiers, starting with Mayor Paul Reinke.
Thank you, Senator Wiger. Thank you for noting the updated resolution as well. Mayor, welcome to the committee. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Good morning, and thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. And thank you also, Senator Wiger, for authoring the bill. For the record, my name is Paul Reinke, and I'm the mayor of Oakdale. So on behalf of the city, we appreciate the authority granted to us in 2021 and now ask for your support as we seek to modify the amounts based on the current state of the economy. Madam Chair, city staff and city council have worked diligently over the last few weeks and months to refine the actual and specific costs of these two projects. Without these amendments to the local area sales tax that was authorized, without these amendments to the Oakdale projects, both of these will exceed the amounts authorized just a short 1 year ago. So as Senator Wiger said, you should have in your materials the resolution that was unanimously passed by the Oakdale City Council, and we ask for your support in amending our previous authorization. For more specific details, I'd like to turn our testimony over to our City Administrator, Christina Volkers, and I will remain available to the committee for questions.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Volkers, welcome to the committee. Introduce yourself for the record, please, and begin.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Chris Volkers. I'm the City Administrator in Oakdale. We know we face challenges similar to what many other local units of government across the state have been experiencing in respect to rapidly escalating rate of inflation, supply chain issues, and workforce shortages. That being said, we are confident in working with staff and our citizens and consultants that we simply cannot accomplish either projects for the amounts proposed to you 1 year ago. We asked for an increase of $5 million to be collected through local option sales tax to properly fund these much-needed capital improvement projects. With respect to the request to increase the termination of the tax to 40 years, I do want to address that. It is a safety net for our residents and taxpayers. We fully anticipate that our growing community will in fact be able to collect enough local option sales tax revenues to pay off the bond and associated costs long before that. And it will, of course, blink off when it is fully paid. But we also want to assure our residents and businesses that this is a viable funding mechanism. We considered a termination request at 30 years versus 40 years, and I'd like to address that. City staff and the City Council are therefore still recommending the termination to be extended to 40 years for the following reasons. 40 years is the best community option to reduce the risk of market volatility and the potential of a tax levy to assist in debt financing. Both facilities are being designed to be generational in that they should last at least 40 years. Our own Oakdale City Hall is now 43 years old without any plans for a replacement in the future. In consideration of the 2019 taxable sales within the city of Oakdale, this tax would have generated just over $2 million. Using conservative future estimates, this is not enough revenue to cover the debt service over 30 years. We will potentially face a higher interest rate, if the pledged sales tax does not align with our estimated debt revenue. The city would not want to risk our bond rating over the long term by running the risk of insufficient revenues for these projects. These are the reasons we're asking the legislature to consider a maximum of a 40-year life cycle for the local option sales tax. We recognize this is a long period of time, but we do strongly believe that the life cycle of these buildings will far exceed 40 years. Madam Chair, members of the committee, I stand with Mayor Reinke for any questions from the committee, and we hope to continue to partner with all of you to see the projects through to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Volkers. I must say, the length is a bit alarming. Particularly, it makes one wonder if one of the requirements for local option sales tax approvals from the legislature is that there are sufficient revenues to meet the local option sales tax request for those bonds, for those projects. So there's no doubt likely that the projects will last perhaps 40 years. But the question is, it makes me wonder if revenues were sufficient last year to pay for the projects. I mean, we understand inflation, but to increase them to increase, I think, the length for the sales tax by 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, that is very significant. So I am concerned about that. And before I have you comment, I'm going to ask Mr. Wilms, particularly in light of what we've just talked about with the public finance bill, does that at all relate to the local option sales taxes? It does not, I would not think. But it is interesting that length of time has been increased to 20 years. But I would assume there's no connection except that they both deal with public finance. Mr. Wilms.
Madam Chair and committee members, no, in this case, there would be no connection between, this proposal before you. I think the bill earlier was testifying to some of the capital projects that have, estimated useful life that was just above the 10-year threshold, which is why they wanted to increase it to 20 years related to solar equipment and fire trucks. And typically what we see in maturities like this, you know, I guess the key principle is kind of the benefit principle, and, you know, in terms of providing the term of the bonds that matches the useful life of the asset, just in terms of intergenerational equity. You know, those who benefit from the capital project pay into it, you know, over the course of its useful life.
Thank you, Mr. Wilms. Ms. Wilkers.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Those are excellent points, and I understand the concern. A few factors, if I can. So last year when we did, the year prior when we prepared the resolution and the bond runs for this request in 2021, the interest rates were significantly less, 2 to 3 to 4 times less than we're predicting at this point by the time we do the issuance. So that is a significant change, hence it would be a significant jump in time. Further, as I stated, and if I can please restate it, that we're quite worried about the interest rate being higher if we're really not able to align the debt service with the revenues that are projected to pay it back. And further, that'll hurt the city long-term with the bond rating, we believe, if we don't have that secure revenue source for the period of time that we need to pay back the bonds. All those factors together are contributing to the request, knowing that the sales tax will will terminate the second the bonds and the interest are paid. So it's a big safety net for our residents, businesses, and our taxpayers, and it's helpful all around for the city of Oakdale.
Thank you, Ms. Volkers. It is true, the Federal Reserve has said it's not transitory inflation anymore. They've changed their outlook as well. All right, any further comments, members? I see none online either. Senator Wiger, any closing comments?
Well, Madam Chair, members, thank you very much for your earlier approval of the project. As was explained, the economy has dramatically changed. It had a jolt on the impact for how much money is going to be needed to get these projects done. It's been carefully vetted locally, and in order to do it responsibly, the amount needs to be increased. I know you understand that part, and going from 25 up to 40 years is the most fiscally responsible way to accomplish it, for the same reasons that Senator Eken had advocated for Moorhead. I believe Senator Johnson had done this for Warren. We have a very unique situation, but 2 facilities in Oakdale that are needed, and we hope that you can pass this. The city is ready to put this before the voters in 6 months. There's strong support, and with your help, it'll become reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Wiger. The bill will be laid over. We'll go before your voters. All right, thank you so much. Members, our next hearing is Wednesday, May 4th. We're leaving April. We're headed into May. That means our time here is limited. We have a lot of work to do. I'm giving you back some of the time that you spent here on Tuesday. We had quite a long hearing Tuesday. We're adjourned today.